Everybody remember the fig tree? Well, guess what? It's now planted in the backyard. And let me just show you. Okay? How about we just go there and I just play this for you. So if you're just joining the show, you see I got the fig tree planted. I figured that while people are waiting to get in, you can watch how I brought the fig tree outside. You can see what a great gardener I am with the help of the Dan, who's holding the camera. Look at my cameraman. Who's this girl? Who's this girl? All right, huh? Wasn't that funny? I got Dan all wet. I was spraying him with the hose. She liked it. She loved it. Hey, we're talking about space today, so it's appropriate, right? I'm not drinking tea. I'm drinking from the Uranus is a Planet mug. If you want to support the channel, that's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it indeed. Okay, let's get into the show. Okay, enough of the ins and the outs. But this fig tree was kind of a bummer. And you're going to see by the end of the show why it ties into all this. I was taken by surprise. So I moved the fig tree from inside to outside. I planted it. Thought it all went well. Manhandled the thing. I'm not the best gardener. I didn't do the best job. I got to be honest. I was rolling around. I actually had video footage of me leaving the house with it. Didn't want to show that to you because I just looked ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. I didn't know what I was doing. I had potting soil all over and I planted it in there. And I thought, oh my goodness, I just burped, excuse me. And I thought to myself, this thing's it's gonna like jettison its leaves and it may just die. And then I thought, my gosh, that's not good. Because that's, we know that the fig tree is very symbolic and I don't want that to be my legacy. So, I was thinking, okay, stop being negative. It's all great, right? I come upstairs, I start getting ready for the show, I start putting everything together, and guess what happens? Danielle calls me. She's freaking out. You know why? Because some of the dirt, because what I did was I brought it inside from outside last year, remember? And all the leaves went bye-bye. We thought it was dead, and I was kind of bummed out about it. And of course, hey, if you're new to the channel too, this must sound really goofy to you, but believe me, everything in life has a very deep symbolic spiritual meaning. You should pay attention to your life. Mine just is, I think it's very cool, so I'm sharing it with you because it's my world, right? And you're in the same world that I'm in, and these signs are for a reason. If it's a sign, I don't know. If not, just a great story to tell. I brought the fig tree in, thought it died. I was bummed out because the fig tree is kind of symbolic of this, this group of people, this 144,000 that we believe have risen in the land and are starting to come to a place where they can influence people, a place where they can speak the truth of God. Fig tree. And you also know that when it's young and it's tender, just like the one that's in my backyard, that the harvest is soon to come. So symbolism there. Problem was, fig tree, I brought it in last year, died. I thought it died, but then it came back. Now it's out there now, and I'm thinking, okay, good. Maybe I'll get some figs. I don't know. Maybe it's too young. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe too immature. And then Danielle calls me downstairs freaking out. Termites. I get in this big bowl. I must have pulled it in from inside. So when I was moving it out and some of the dirt spilled, she went to clean up. It was a bunch of termites. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm about to go do a show, and you tell me there's a bunch of termites that were like around the fig tree. She goes, oh, I hope those termites are not eating the tree. I go, me too. That's not good. That's not good. Probably nothing to it. I think the fig tree is going to be fine, but it goes to show you. See, I think by the end of the show, this is all going to make sense, believe me, because this eclipse, it ties into this in a strange way. Breadcrumbs, we follow them. It's, oh my goodness gracious. It's the fig tree being symbolic of this group is under attack, right? That's basically the way I looked at it. And you have to be careful, and it needed to be replanted because where it wasn't doing well. Now needs the full sun. Put it out right in front of the full sun. So I'm hoping that's the case. But the full sun is going bye-bye. You like that? Like that little transition? Boom! Tomorrow, the new moon. Did you know that we are having a new moon? Did anybody know this? Am I the only one? Tell me in the chat. I would love to know if you heard about this total eclipse of the sun. This is the only one, by the way, that's happening let me turn that music off. This is the only one that's happening this year. That's pretty important, pretty symbolic. But if you look at this title right here, it says tomorrow's new moon will totally eclipse the sun and set up the half-blood thunder moon. It's like, where do they get these names, right? Where do they get these names? Half-blood thunder moon and black moon. Now that sounds spooky, right? Or is that darkness just something that's going to have to flee from the light? You know what they say, when you're in darkness, you can't see anything, right? You bump into things. Trying to get around a room in the dark is not that easy. You end up, you stub your toe, and you step on a rake, it whacks you in the head. Maybe just my yard. But if you have a little bit of light, you can see a little better. A little bit of light, you can see just a little, just around you, right? A whole lot of light, you could see, like today when I was out in the yard, like a whole lot of light, I could see a lot. Got to see those termites that I wouldn't have saw because they're so tiny in that big planter that I had. Danielle, of course, wants me to make sure that we don't have termites in the house, which is Long Island. They all do. I hope I don't. I don't want termites. I don't like any of the. I'm not a big fan of the bugs. Not a big fan of the bugs. But this show is all about this moon. It'll be a striking amber color. Now here's the thing. Now it's been about 2 years since the Great American Eclipse. Remember, everybody was crammed into that 70-mile wide path. 70 miles. Big deal. Remember, we have another one of these eclipses that are going to hit the United States of America 7 years from that day. Now this is like 2 years from that day. 7 minus 2 is 5. Just saying. The moon blotted out the sun to usher in a spontaneous nightfall, right? Now, I wasn't in the path directly, but I got to see it. It was fascinating. There are some really fascinating facts that you need to be aware of before we get into this message, because you're going to tell me if there's this message, because I think there is. Each one of these names, this path that it traveled, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. And I love that it just, I was inspired to look into it. That it just like one thing after another. Nobody told me this. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. But by the end of the show, you're going to probably say, wow, that dude acts like a goofball. But man, he's anointed. Anointed. You know what anointed actually means? Doesn't mean what you think. Doesn't mean what you think. It's kind of you're immersed in something, if you will. You're immersed with the truth. We'll get into that another day. I just did a show on the oil. Check it out. You want to know more about the anointing. Let's talk about the 7 fabulous facts that Forbes was talking about just a little while ago. And hopefully the music is not too loud. I'm going to lower it down a little bit because I don't want you to be... I have a tendency of making things too loud. You can tell me in the chat if that's the case. By the way, let me welcome some of you. Hello, Donna Power, Michael, Angela, Geraldine. A lot of people here already. You know what that means? A lot of like buttons that you can be hitting. You could be hitting those like buttons. You can help the Jacob Israel out. You can climb the ladder with Jacob. Jacob's Ladder, the movie's coming out. Don't you think that's weird? That's weird. That's weird. Trailer was just released today. I'm going to show you part of that too. Hit the like. Thank you. Everybody says it sounds good. I dig it. 1111. Hello, Lanny. Hello, Geraldine. Once again, PA is the name. A lot of people watching. I'm glad you're here. I hope I'm not rambling. I'm just excited. You know what it is? I know where the show's going. So let me transfer over and let me pull up these fascinating facts. My computer is very slow, people, so forgive me. Oh, good grief, Charlie Brown, sometimes with this computer. Good old Ethan Siegel, the contributor. Starts with a bang. Although the Big Bang is not really a thing, just so you know. First law of thermodynamics. Look it up. 7 fascinating facts about the 2019's only total solar eclipse. That's the only one, so maybe we should pay attention to it, right? Okay, on July 2nd, the new moon will pass between Earth and our sun, creating a total solar eclipse. Not a total, a total solar eclipse, because it sounds better. Path of totality for July 2nd will take it to the western Pacific Ocean to South America, where it'll cross Chile. Now, Chile is where the big concern is, because those are the names that are just going to pop. Really, it's going to stand out quite a bit. Hope this Capital One ad goes away so I can just delete it. But here's what you should know. Now, see, here's the thing. There's only a small sliver of Earth that will experience this. There's only a small amount of people that are going to get it. Maybe even this show. Maybe there's just a small amount of you out there. Just a little teeny sliver. Now, this is a big deal, these solar eclipses. By the way, it helps scientists in a huge way understand the sun better, which is a good thing because there's a lesson in that as well, if you think about it, right? Darkness helps us to understand the light, because we know that it's a lot better when the sun is shining, a lot better than when it's totally dark out and you feel so sad and so alone. Okay, so Chile and Argentina are the only land masses that are going to experience this. Most of it, a bunch of fish are going to see it. That's ironic. Now, this is going to happen. This is tomorrow. Okay, so there's a couple of... Now, see, the weird thing about this, too, by the way, is this is the greatest eclipse ever for astronomers. That's pretty significant, don't you think? The greatest one ever? I mean, really? Why is that? So you have all of these observatories. Now, here's the thing. This is the first time that everywhere in the world is going to see this thing. It's going to be broadcast everywhere. But now take a look at how long people are going to experience this. 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Two symbolic numbers. 4, of course, a time of testing and trying. 3, of course, a day of resurrection. There's a trimester to birth. There's 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, 40 years in the wilderness. 4 is a big number, usually about 40 weeks in a pregnancy. This is an interesting thing. Now, where it is last year, because, of course, I talked about the eclipse last year, and I believe we even talked about the ones that are to come. But this one is going to be nearly twice the duration. It's going to be like almost twice as long as last year's. And here's why. Now, I use this picture because I thought that picture, if it's real, just so cool. Unparalleled scientific knowledge, and they got almost double the time to do so. Almost double the time is pretty cool. These were some images that were collected in 2016, by the way. For coronal imaging, polarization, emission line data, blah, blah, blah. All the science stuff, right? Now, it's really dangerous for scientific viewing. We don't care. But this we care about. The fact that it is going to be broadcast like around the entire world. Now, that, my friends, is interesting to me. I don't know. I just think that it is interesting that the whole world is going to be privy to this. If they want, they can watch it. You can watch it. You can watch it live. I think you should watch it live. Now, look, I'm not going to start saying like some of the weird things that people say. You know, that the eclipse is going to happen, and that's when you're going to see Planet X, Planet 9, Nibiru. I'm not going to say that. That would be goofy. I'm not saying it's goofy like I'm putting them down. So I don't have any prior knowledge. I have no idea. It would be cool if it happened. But I am going to say that there's a reason why we have these signs. There's a reason why we have these magnificent events. Let me tell you a little bit about this. This prophetic path. Billions of fish. Oh, this total solar eclipse. It's Here's the thing, right? Here's the number 4 again. In an amazing cosmic coincidence, even though the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, it is also 400 times closer. So the moon and the sun, when they boop, right, they line up perfectly. And you got some people saying that this was just chance, chaos. No, there's nothing to see here, people. It just, good grief. There's a reason why the world is keeping you from your faith. There's a reason why people today are more concerned about getting you focused on the wrong stuff than the right stuff. And the right stuff is finding the truth no matter what the cost. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about believing the way I believe. I'm talking about seeking the creator of all. That whatever everything is, that everything came from, the Lord, for lack of a better word. And I believe in Greek, the Lord means the existing one, the one who exists. It's time to pay attention and to seek more. Fig tree had to be replanted to the backyard today. There were termites. I didn't know it. Luckily, we'll see. If it grows some fruit, I don't know. But it gets me to talk to all of you about this path. Because take a look at this path right here. At 4:38 p.m., that's local time, by the way, La Serena, Chile is going to, they're going to experience the beginning of this. Then it's going to move on to La Quiera. Yo no sé if I pronounced it, I don't know if I pronounced it okay. Comprendo español un poquito, necesito practicar. I need to practice. I can understand Spanish a little bit, but I'm not the best, right? Not the best. Then it moves on to the third word I don't even know how to pronounce. I think it's Vicuna or Vicuna, Chile. And then it goes on to Rodeo or Rodeo, Argentina. Then it goes to Bella Vista, Argentina. Now, these names are very cool. And why are they cool, you ask? Let me tell you, by raising the music up a little bit. Because each name has a significant meaning, and it's very cool. Like Serena means serene. Serene. Serene is a pretty good word. You know what serene means? Anybody in the comments section? Let me come on over. I'm going to put this back. I want to see if anybody can tell me why this would be a very cool word to come across. Hello there, Lanny and Kenny and Kevin and Simon and Oscar. Oscar says I'm weird. You mean weird? I'm weird. Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. Tinky Moon, you love my passion? Okay, so no one's really answering. Well, you know what? There's so many people watching. It's going so fast I can't even tell. Serene means calming. Karen Steele at Peace. Tina, yes. Armored Up says peaceful. Serene. Oh, good grief, right? Serene. Oh, the word serene sounds so nice. So nice. Serenity. Serenity now. Eclipse starts there. You think about that for a second. Eclipse starts there. That's where it comes onto land. Now, let's move over to the next one. Because it then moves on to, this is why the fig tree planting was so important. The fig tree. That's right. The fig tree is the second place that is mentioned. 4:38. You can see it for about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. These are the places. 2 minutes, 35 seconds totality. That's a long time to look at this cool thing. That's a long time to look at this cool. I mean, I hope everybody who is in that area, if you are, say in the comment section, say, I live there and I'm going to be enjoying the eclipse and seeing what happens after it. I know that there are probably some people online somewhere say that the alien invasion is going to begin. I would say that sounds like a really good movie, but I'm not thinking that's going to happen. Because mainly they're already here. That's what a lot of people say. You don't got to take it up with me. They could be demons, right? We don't know what they are. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, serene. Serene. The fig tree. The fig tree. You know what's next? Now this is where it gets a little weird. You see, let me tell you why. Because see, when I look at these things, I'm looking for symbolic things. I saw serene, I was like, no big deal. But today I was like all focused on the fig tree. I was thinking, I gotta plant this thing. Eclipse is coming tomorrow night, right? Gotta get to plant this thing. When the branch is tender, I gotta get it outside. And then I find that the fig tree is the place where this eclipse is hitting next. Just think that's strange. But it gets weirder when from the fig tree it moves over to a cud chewing animal, much like a sheep. That's right. A ruminate. An endangered species that is now increasing in number. See that little bit? It's now increasing in number. Let me go on. Okay, so this is an animal we're talking about. It is an even-toed mammal that chews the cud, regurgitates it from its rumen, not ramen. The ruminants comprise the cattle, sheep, antelope, deer, giraffes, and their relatives. These are, to my understanding, what God would consider clean animals. These are animals you can eat. Okay? You can eat cattle, you can eat sheep, you can eat antelope, I guess, you can eat deer, because it is a cloven hoof, but it is not separated. We'll get into that in a second. But look at the second definition of this place. Well, this is the what the place means. A contemplative person, a person given to meditation. Another word for that would be prayer. Prayerfully considering things. A lot of people think that prayer, I got to do a show on praying. Teach people how to pray. Because they asked Jesus, how do we pray? And he gave the, I have a video on that too if you want to know. And then I think the Pope changed how we're supposed to pray. I think I did a video on that too. It went viral on my birthday. How crazy is that, right? Am I not? It's a gift from God. It's not me. I don't know. Contemplative person. So here we have serenity, peace. We're all looking for peace, right? The blackout comes there. Then it comes to the fig tree. Then it comes to the animals, the sheep. That's weird, right? The blackout's coming. But what comes after this? Now here, let me give a little more inside information, because this is kind of a little interesting thing to understand. That they acquire nutrients by fermenting it inside like this special stomach. So in other words, you got to chew on something. You chew on it, you swallow it, you put it back up, it ferments, you chew it again, and you get all the nutrients out of it. That's the way they do it. It's smart. It's a spiritual lesson for us all. And that is that when you are given some information, you chew on it, you can swallow it if you want, but you don't need to stop there, because there's still some things you got to dig down. Get that back up. Chew it a little more. Chew on a little more. Think a little more. Contemplate a little more. Prayerfully consider. What does it mean? What am I supposed to talk about today? Why is this eclipse important? What am I supposed to say? Why am I here? Ask these questions. You'll get the answers. It's the only way to find out. Today is the day. The scriptures say you don't go door to door saying know the Lord anymore. You don't need to know the existing one anymore. No, you don't got to go say you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to say this, you got to say that. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What you got to do is you got to go to the truth and ask for it, right? You got to go to God. You got to say, teach me the truth no matter what the cost. Let me know. I want to know. Because he is going to write the law, his truth, on your heart and in your mind. Because you are the temple of God. That's where the kingdom of God is supposed to be ruled from. So the kingdom, which means the rule of God. God is love. The rule of love. The rule of truth. The rule of justice. The rule of peace. If you seek first the kingdom of God, if you seek first being ruled by something more than your nonsense, right? By your fears. If you say, oh, just teach me the truth and just lead me and guide me and let me serve you by serving others, because that's ultimately the whole point of this. But there's only a sliver of the people that are going to get this. You see? It's like a sliver. It's a little bit. It's the fig tree. It's those that are chewing chewing the cud. They're fermenting on it. They're thinking about things. The ruminates. Are they going to find the serenity? I believe so. But there's going to be a little bit of a detour on the way. This is interesting, right? Because the third definition for rodeo, whatever. Roundup. After the roundup, they brand the cows. That's one of the definitions, about catching all of the cattle and branding them. Another definition is the long way around. Oh, good grief. You know who took the long way around? Israel. They took the long way around. Man, 40 years in that wasn't like a very big desert. They're just going in circles. Going in circles. Long way around. Seems like that's the case for today as well. This is the next place. I mean, don't you think that this is kind of interesting? Let me come on over to the chat and you tell me, just simply yes if you believe that this is interesting, or no, that this is not. Is this spiritually symbolic so far? Yes. Is it not? No. Do you think it's cool? Yes. Do you not? No. Just say yes or no. Julie Day says yep. Nick says yes. Oscar said, did Jesus ask for money? No, he didn't ask for money. He says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Yes, 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 yes. I don't got no no's in this group. I don't got no no's. No no's. Noah is he's my oldest. We call him the no-no. He's such a good boy. Such a good boy. He's going in for his surgery July 5th. Big deal. They're using AI for this thing. They're going in all over the place into his heart. Symbolism there. My firstborn son. Oh, interesting. His name's Noah, right? I got a thing today. Let me see if I can pull it up. See, I'm the kind of guy I look for more in life. I think that life is wonderful and fascinating and interesting, and I know that there's a purpose to everything. So I start thinking about trying to really contemplate, like, what's going on? Like, what is meant to be, right? I don't want to come on here and say bad things are going to happen, because faith comes by hearing. You hear that, it makes it so, right? We collectively agree it's going to happen. But if we operate in faith, right, there's a lot of ways that the truth is revealed, that the Mashiach in the Jewish faith is revealed. There's a couple of different ways. One way is a scorpion. And sadly, you're going to find out that the scorpion, there's some astronomy going on. It's all about chasing a scorpion. Yeah, with this eclipse. So weird. We're going to get to that too. But there's another way. Like, you can hasten the coming, hasten the anointing, hasten the return. That word come, Christ comes again, means to be manifested, by the way. Erchome in Greek. Look it up. It's not really about coming from one place to another, but it's more like being manifested and revealed, something that's always been there but hidden, and now a light is shined on it. So let's get back to because we just took the long way around at Rodeo. Okay, so then let's look at the next one, because this is the end, where this is the last part of the journey. Journey starts in a serene place. The darkness comes to serenity, blocks it out. Right? Then comes on over to the fig tree, blocks that out. Then comes on over to the animals, the clean animals, blocks that out. Comes on over to those on the long way around, right? A detour, and then blocks that out. But is it going to block out also a beautiful view? Or is that the end? Is that what we're looking for? Is the Bella Vista? That's the last place. Beautiful view. And it is a beautiful view. You know where it's usually a beautiful view? You know where it's, all of a sudden I said it that. You know where it's usually a beautiful view? Is the top. You're looking it down, everything's a beautiful view. You go up so you can see. When you're up, it's easier to see down. You know what another thing is? When you're up higher, like say we're all together and there's a skyscraper and you're all on the ground floor, right? And I'm up on the skyscraper, and I see in the distance a storm is coming. You all don't see the storm. You don't see that big storm coming. You're just like looking at, because you're not high enough. You're not high. You're not above the world enough to see what's coming. That's all it is. It's being a little bit, when you are raised, when you are, for lack of a better word, enlightened, entering into the light of truth, when God comes to you and gives you the gift, if you will, of life and understanding and wisdom, you see a little bit further down the road than most people. You start looking at little things like this and you start saying, what does it mean? What am I supposed to tell people? Why aren't you all, let me ask you a question. Why aren't you all, at least, you watch me long enough. I know a lot of you watch me and you're like, yeah, with the God stuff. But you know, deep down, you know, what are you nervous? Are you nervous to just say, hey, if you're there, why don't you just show up? Because I want to know. Because, I mean, if that's the whole point for life, right? If you're like, say, a child of God that is forgotten, you're like the prodigal. This is the view of God that you should have. It's a beautiful story, the prodigal. Prodigal was given an inheritance and he wasted it on riotous living. You know, you came into this world and you were given everything, you know, and you just partied it away. Didn't matter. And he ended up bankrupt, eating pig slop. That's basically how the story goes. He's eating eating husks. And he's thinking to himself, what am I doing here, living outside of the kingdom? My dad's, you know, if I could be a servant in my dad's house, just a servant, oh my goodness, I'd have a warm bed, food to eat, and everything else. He comes back humble. He's like, I just want to serve you. And God's like, what? Get the robe. Give him a ring. My son is back. He was lost and now he's found. You don't think that a father wants his child home? You don't think a mother wants her child home? You don't think the creator of all that created all wants his creation back? It's a beautiful view when you understand that. And that's where the sun goes bye-bye, right? For the last time. And then, you know, we're looking at a couple of weird eclipses that are happening in the future. There's been a lot of interesting, symbolic, you know, for lack of a better word, prophetic signs that we've seen over the years. And it's like, when's everybody going to take this seriously? And just now, I'm not using fear as a motivator. My life's pretty good. I'm pretty happy. I mean, just like the fig tree, I got termites, right? I mean, I got things that like are trying to poke at me, and like everything else, you know, this world, it's a lot like that movie Jacob's Ladder, which, by the way, is out, which is crazy. I think it's so incredibly strange, and also great too, because if it becomes a really cool movie, people may find me. I'm going to look up, what is Jacob's Ladder? And they find me. How crazy would that be? How cool would that be? That would be like a big high five. High five to the creator of all. Let's take a look at the astronomy of this thing, okay? Jupiter's becoming more prominent in the sky. See, this is July 19th. But here, to the bottom, you see Scorpius or Libra to the west of Scorpion. Because right now, Scorpius, the celestial scorpion, is well positioned after dark. The eclipse. After the eclipse, Scorpion! It's the other way that the Mashiach comes. I'm just saying. Meaning, you know, it's going to catch you unaware. It's going to catch you unaware like a scorpion. You're sleeping outside, you know, in a tent. You think it's all cool. You come out and you put your little toast, your little piggies. Little piggy 1, 2, 3. You put them in the little slipper and boop! You weren't ready for that. You weren't ready for your toe to get stung. Be ready. Because if you're ready, you're going to be careful where you put your toes. Think about that for a second, right? You don't want to put your toes in weird shoes. Okay. Scorpion is well positioned after dark. The farther south you live, the easier it is to make out its obvious shape. The lower you are, the easier it's going to be. It's going to be easier for you to see the scorpion, because the scorpion is meant for lower dwellers, not those that are up top at the top of the skyscraper, because they don't get scorpions up there. I don't think they do, at least. I did a video, by the way, on scorpions and the Mashiach and all that. I'll try to link it. It's a cool show. And I think it's interesting that it has something to do with all this too. Now, but here's the good news, is that to the right, there is Libra, the balance scales, the Virgo, and the Maiden, right? They're all the same, Virgo, Maiden. High above them is the fourth brightest star in the nighttime sky. What's weird is Jupiter takes a little bit more of the dominance in the night, which is great because Jupiter is always kind of symbolic of, the king planet. Saturn's coming in too. We know Saturn's, they consider that the Satan guy. That's not that great. That's not that great. The adversary, we don't like the adversary. We're not a big fan. Not a big fan. Oh, in the super chat, thank you, Saved by His Grace. Wow, that means a lot. I appreciate it. Olivia Jobs, God bless you from Arkansas. Okay, God bless you from Long Island. Not the, I just really appreciate you guys when you take the time to say something. Thank you, David Lee, for saying nice things, too. Everybody in the chat. Every day is a gift, Loco. Very true. Spiritually Awakened says Jupiter is a star. Hey, okay. It's okay. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. All right, so this is going on. I'm gonna close out the show with this because this is what got me to Jacob's Ladder. Who heard about NASA sending this dragonfly to Titan? Anybody hear about this? Yeah, so they think, first of all, they think Titan is like the best place for people to have life. They think Titan's where it's at. That they're all heading out there. They're also heading out for a gigantic asteroid that's going to make everybody rich. Good grief, everything with the space. I know that drives a lot of people nuts. But the dragonfly going to Titan. Now, why this was interesting to me was because I saw that thing up in the corner. It says Jacob's Ladder Remake. I don't know if you can see that, but that got me very interested. And I was like, well, what is Jacob's Ladder? I go, oh my God, is that movie? That movie from years ago? Which I didn't understand and it scared me? Was that movie? So of course I clicked on over. And guess what? It's that movie. Oh yeah. Yeah. Jacob's Ladder. It's a remake. All black remake. It gets a creepy new look. Now I gotta tell you something. There's something interesting about the direction, which I think is beautiful and wonderful and everything else, but it's also spiritually symbolic and true. Now, in this movie, this guy has like this, I guess, twin brother, and something goes awry. But towards the end of the movie, man, oof, spooky. He's seeing things. I got the, everybody should check out the trailer. I got the trailer kind of loaded up, but I didn't really, I get worried about, let's see if I can pull this up. I get worried about, getting hit with all sorts of stuff. But here's just one part that I thought was pretty scary. This is obviously fair use. Letting everybody know about it. At the time, it only had like 1,000 views. So it took them a while to get this movie out. They were talking about making this movie for a while, so who knows if it's going to be good at all. Let's listen to a bit.
You will see devils tearing your life apart.
Weird, right? I think it's very strange. You're going to see devils tearing your life apart. Scorpions. Just weird. The timing of it all. Just so strange. I don't know. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with this Eclipse. I'm not like saying anything's going to... I use a lot of this stuff to get all of you to consider more. Because the truth is right now, look, they're freaked out about asteroids. They're freaked out about extra planets. They're freaked out about a lot of stuff. They're freaked out about climate. I'm freaked out about climate. I gotta be honest. I get nervous. We were doing Anthony's his graduation party, right? That's the second one going into college. I set everything up. I'd been weeding for weeks. My fingers went raw because I didn't want to use any of that spray. Everything was perfect. You know, that backyard, I just perfect. Even though it was all overgrown. And man, it was hard. It was hard to get it that way. Because in life, it's hard sometimes. You gotta get to the root of that weed that's bothering you. You gotta pick it up. Sometimes to pick that weed, you know, you're gonna stub your toe. You're gonna rip your fingers a little bit, right? The end result was great. Get everything set up. Party's going great. Playing spike ball. My brother, my younger brother Jeff, he comes down. We're playing against Noah and Tone, and they beat us. And one of my neighbors comes up, says, "We have to get everything inside now." Like, I had borrowed tents. I got tents set up. I took everything down. The rain was pouring on me. Everything totally fine. Got it in the house. No big deal. What an adventure. Go upstairs, get changed. Come downstairs. The sun's out. Go back upstairs, get changed. Moved everything back outside. Had a great time. My point is, the weather's weird. Weather's weird right now. They just had some crazy amount of hail that like buried cars over the summer. Strange. People are concerned. There's not much you can do besides, preparing yourself a little bit. You have food, you have water, you have an escape plan, you get bug out badge, you get all that stuff, right? I'm not here to sell you any of that. Get you freaked out about any of that. Because ultimately, none of this really matters. None of this is really real after all. Watch some of my shows, Simulation Theory, Holographic Universe, and all that. Mainly just watch my shows on anything relating to faith, because in the grand scheme of things, this is temporary. Very temporary. But we, the spirit of who we are, the spirit that you are, boundless. But we're experiencing it. So why wouldn't you want to see that and understand that and operate in that? Jesus used to say something pretty cool, right? Because you couldn't doubt the guy. People were asking him, how am I supposed to believe you? It's like, well, you don't believe me? Well, believe the stuff that happened. You don't want to believe me? I've told you for a long time. You can go back. You can watch it. Put my website out years ago, jacobisrael.com. All my essays years ago, saying where hopefully I believed faithfully I would be, and here I am, and here you are. Why? Why now? Why is Jacob's Ladder, the movie, coming out? Why now? Would it be a hit? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a hit. If it is, interesting. Maybe you'll get more people my way. Maybe you can help me with that, You are helpers after all. My goodness. Oh, by the way, thank you all who helped Blake. I wanted to touch on this. My goodness gracious. That's you. That's you. I mean, that's $2,000 in a couple of days. They're so happy. Now, here's the thing, right? They need 3. He needs 3 to get the thing started. So hopefully we're going to believe. So, if you can help out, that's great. But my goodness, what this is a huge gift to them. And they were so humbled, and they're planning on writing everybody like thank yous and all that jazz. And I haven't talked to Blake. I talked to him like right after I think the show went live, and he was like almost in tears. And it's just amazing because he was faithful to leave that comment. I saw it. Boom, and here we are years later. We got the fig tree in the backyard. We got termites. We got eclipses. Got a lot of stuff going on. But you're givers, you're sharers. Oh, by the way, if you want to help, if you'd like to help Blake, I believe I have the link. I'll have it in the description. If I don't, I'll put it there at all. That would be a miracle. The fact that we're all here is a miracle. But I think that every single one of you need to question more. You need to question more. When it came to him, so why should we believe you? He said, you don't believe me? Believe the stuff. Believe the stuff. Look at where I've been. Look at where I am. Look at where I'm going. Look at my life. Look at my family. Look at my fig tree. Look at my faith. I'm not making this up. I don't want anything from any of you. All you got to do, go to the source, and you will be set free. I promise you. The world's going to need it. It's a little bit of light. Only a sliver of people are going to get this. But at the end, when you come up higher, it's a beautiful view. And I'm thankful that each and every one of you are there looking out at the world with me. Let's help people. Let's do a little bit more. Let's be better. Let's make up. Let's not fight. Let's stop being angry at each other. Let's stop looking at our spouse or our children or our neighbors or our employers. Let's stop looking at them as enemies. And let's start caring for them and nurturing them and acting like I was with that fig tree. I got it out of one bad environment. I'm going to replant it. I'm going to put it with some soil. That's what you do when a tree is failing, right? Shake up the earth around it. And if it doesn't produce fruit then, I guess it's going to go into the fire. But not literal fire. Well, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Hey, I love you guys. And I love you gals. And I love all of you. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Share it around. Tell your friends. And for those who want to help out Blake, of course, the link is in the comment. I love you all. And I'll see you soon. Maybe not tomorrow, but certainly very soon. We got a lot of stuff going on. I love you. Watch that eclipse. It's going to be cool, especially if you're there. If you get some pictures, let me know. Email me. I would love to see them. And I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.